Okay, we are here now for my children's story section, which I'm calling the Halloween Village. And it starts out with the main character is the story of Elmira. She's a vampire, but she makes her own blood, her own synthetic blood and everything like that, and no one ever noticed anything. And then one day, a bunch of bad vampires moved in, and there was a bunch of bites and everything, so she had to be even more low profile. And she didn't want anybody to get murdered or killed, but she knew these vampires would only drink human blood. So anyways, she goes and she tries to kind of warn people a little bit, but no one believed her because they thought she was just a doctor. And then there was a couple deaths in the village of vampire bites and people being drained of blood. And she was trying to help out. And then one day that she was in her house, and when somebody looked through the window and they thought she was drinking blood, but it was the blood that she synthetically made. It wasn't animal blood or nothing. It was just her own creation that she decided she was going to eat. I mean, drink, and that was her diet. So the village was all against her, and they blamed her for all the deaths. So she had to go in deep hiding. So she disappeared for a while, and then the deaths kept continuing and continuing until some of the town's children came and they recognized her, and she was always nice to them, always made sure they had money, always made sure they had food, and they tried to protect her. So she ended up tracking down these band of vampires, and then she tried to warn everybody. Nobody believed her because they were really good at what they did. And more deaths happened. And even the kids tried to warn everybody. But that didn't go very far. Not very far at all. So anyways, this went on for a little bit. And then finally, somebody seen one of them actually doing the deed and noticed it wasn't her. So they went to her for help. So she tried to help him. She finally was like, well, I'm trying to help you. And she did try to help, which was nice of her. And they went and they located all these vampires. And they had some people go in and try to get them to, they went in there where they were sleeping, which is usually called the hive or a dark place, or however you want to phrase it. And they took them out one by one, and one person ended up dying in the process, but they got all the vampires out of the village. Everybody forgave her because she was the good monster. And she went back to seclusion, and the few people that did know about her, they were fine, and they all lived happily ever after. And that's one of the spooky ghost stories for the Halloween Village, for all your kids or adults that like fun stories.